let's get our next caller. All right, let's get our next caller in.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey, uh, would you like? Could you do me a favor and mute the stream for me?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got too many windows open.
Get our next caller.
There we go.
All right, great. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
I am known as Bernardo of the Mike variety.
Hey, it's Mike Bernardo.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
it's going good. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm exhaustipated. I've had to repay a bunch of days back at work for days that people were working for me for something that I may have been out of town for. And
Uh,
yeah, it's so this week I worked like 72 hours in 4 days, and I'm just trying to get myself together so I can do other things and still kind of function the next
wow.
couple of days.
So you sound quite busy.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I got too many. I gotta turn some of this off here. I got too many things in my face. There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. I actually had a chance to interview you back in February at the National Ninja League, but
You did.
unfortunately the
And you
audio.
lost it.
I have the video, but I lost the audio. That's the problem.
Maybe
Uh,
we can MXC it or something and do like what they did with Takeshi's Castle and
yeah, that
have
would
it
not.
be all goofy with me and Ryan.
The funny thing is, I actually had a coworker suggest that I should do just that with like random voices.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have done that. Although it is funny because I actually ahead of time I did take the footage and prepared it so I can show it on the live stream right now.
Oh, really?
Yes. Except and I took the audio out ahead of time, so while we're talking, it could look like I'm talking to you and Ryan again, and we could just pretend that Ryan's here also.
Oh, okay. Oh, what did I do? I paused it instead of muting it. Okay. So I'm not live, so I can't see the thing.
Okay.
Oh wait, there we go.
All right.
How do I make it live again?
You hit
Oh, there
the
we are. I see it. Okay.
yeah.
Never mind. I'm making silly faces with Ryan.
Yes.
Nah. Him.
So
This.
how would you?
I'm making this difficult, aren't
Yeah,
I?
a little bit. How
All right.
how would you actually know it? How what? Let's start at the beginning. How did you first discover Ninja Warrior Sasuke?
Oh, I was a fan of G4. I used to watch their Anime Unleashed blocks. I would come out of work late and fall asleep watching Cinematech, which was like they would spend an entire show just showing like game cinemas from different games. Oh, there's Grossman, Mega Man. Um, yeah. So I was watching that one night, and in like fall of 2007, like October 2007, maybe September, October, and one of the Ninja Warrior episodes was on. And I was like, holy crap, what the hell is this? And it reminded me of like a real life Super Mario level or something. And I was like, I need to find out more about this thing, and I'm going to love it. Um, so yeah, it was a happy accident, and that was that. I mean, once I started watching it, it was like right before they aired all of the ANC one stuff with Brett and Colin. So shortly after I discovered it, I realized that there might be a way that I could actually go do it, and then I just became a fanatic. And shortly after that, once I started watching the videos online that they used to put up that people would vote on, I was like, what the hell are these people doing? There's no way anyone's going to vote for me, like running up and down stadium steps or carrying stuff, smashing things with hammers. So I kind of gave up on it after I saw the kind of videos that were out there, and just watched the show and dreamed of going to Japan. I'd kind of been a Japanophile since I was in middle school, and so I kind of put it on back burner until I saw the first episodes of A&W in December of '09, and I was like, how did I miss this? And like right after that, I jumped on Sasuke Maniacs for the first time, and I think I actually went to the G4 boards the first time, and then found out about Sasuke Maniacs through there, and started messaging some of the guys about like, what can I do, what do I need to do, and all that stuff. And then I put their video, and I got called out for A&W 2, and I thought there was just a chance of me going to Japan as anybody else until I failed the warped wall like a noob. So yeah, I might have overshot the question there, but yeah, video games, Japanese culture, G4, Ninja Warrior. Here I am.
That's fine. There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, I'm a little slap happy from all the not sleep. So
I'm
just kind of rambling randomly.
So what's it like being a fireman, just in general?
It's more like being a paramedic than a fireman these days.
Oh, okay.
We do about 85% EMS calls, which is all your, the medical emergencies, injuries, accidents, all that kind of stuff. Ambulances, emergency departments, blood and vomit and urine and feces and drugs and violence and people that just want to ride to the hospital, all kinds of other stuff. But obviously we still do fires and rescues and stuff like that, but not as much as a lot of us would like to. I mean, you're always kind of ambivalent about it because you're like, well, I'm happy nobody's house is burning down today, but I kind of wish it would happen a little bit more often so I get to go do all that stuff that I trained for. But
yeah, I get what you're saying.
So it's like you always tell people, yeah, I don't want it to happen to people, but if it is happening around, I want to be one of the people that gets to go do it. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's that.
So you've been on A&W quite a bit at this point.
Yeah.
Whoa. How do you feel you've been progressing over the years?
Oh God, I don't even know. I mean, I feel skills-wise, I feel like I've gotten better. When I started, I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and this was like 2010. The only person that really had any kind of actual obstacle stuff was David Campbell at the time. So the rest of us were kind of like, I mean, if you watch the old ANC videos, it was, we're just kind of like finding stuff outside and trying to emulate the movements of the different obstacles and stuff. I feel like I was in pretty good shape, but I just didn't have some of the techniques. I used to watch. I really liked the way Nagano moved. Like it was really fluid, and he looked confident moving. He just kept moving from one thing to the next really fluidly, and I was like, man, I want to move like that, And so I would just watch him, and like some of the stuff that scared me, like the jumping spider and stuff like that, I would like slow down and just keep watching over and over. Like, all right, what's he doing with his feet? What's he doing with his hands? What's he doing when he lands? And then I just like go find walls and staircases and stuff and try to do it. But then when I moved to DC and in late 2010, and then after like a year or so, and Chris Wilczewski started his gym stuff. Now I was back and forth up there a lot. I started to get better with the actual obstacles, but I was still, kind of heavy. I was still kind of just basically a guy who used to lift weights a lot to get bigger and stuff like that, and wasn't really good at a lot of the climby stuff. So my thing was always, I want to be, I think my goal was always kind of like to be the American Cicada. It was like, okay with getting to stage 3 consistently, and then having, some kind of really dramatic, arm shaking, no energy, straining, fall into the water kind of thing. But I, after several years and people just getting better and better at a lot of the different things, I'm like, all right, well, I got to start keeping up with people on this other stuff. Because I was like, man, I really love stage 1. I really love stage 2. They're fast. They're exciting. There's, all kinds of different stuff. And then I'll just leave the stage 3 stuff, guys that are good at that stuff. But, once I've, like last year when I got to stage 2, like close to the end of stage 2, because I had gotten to run pretty much every iteration of stage 1 and 2 in Vegas, either as a test or as a competitor. And I really felt like there's no reason I shouldn't be getting stage 3 consistently. It's just everybody. There's a lot of people who can do it. It's just you still gotta not screw up, and it's hard to get all of that stuff together each time when you go out there. Everything's stuff is new, even if it's not a new type of obstacle, just like the way that it's set up or the surface or the how much give it has or whatever could be just slightly different than what you're expecting, and by the time you realize you did something wrong, it can be late. So last year, after I made it to where most of the people in stage 2 fell on that roulette thing, I was like, well, I really felt good about being in that group of people. Like, I never saw myself as one of the top people. I was always like, yeah, I'm kind of average, but I don't know if I'll ever be as good as those other guys. And I was like, wait, I'm right here with those other guys. So why shouldn't I be training the other stuff so that I can, if I do get to stage 3, I can maybe have a shot at stage 4. So yeah, I feel like I've gotten better skills-wise. I've been sort of working on a lot of mental stuff that used to take me out. Like the lack of confidence and the stage fright and everything. But it's just such a weird thing to be a part of. Like when you get there, it can really take you out of the zone of, what you came to do and why you like it and everything, and you start getting all these kind of anxious feelings and everything, and the whole TV production thing happening around you, and it's like, this is nothing like what I wanted it to be like when I was watching it on G4. So yeah, I'm getting better with some of this stuff. It's a work in progress always. So hopefully I can have that one season where I do as well as I know I can do. I think that's all any of us really wants to do, is just go out there and do the best that we can and not slip on any banana peels.
Well, speaking of doing the best, at last season of A&W, they had a All-Star special, and you were part of the Super Salmon Ladder Challenge. How did you get involved in that, and were you surprised that you were able to get to the top?
The Super Salmon Ladder thing, I originally wasn't supposed to be in it, and we're still not sure exactly who made all the calls and what the decision process was. I know before Vegas that year, they were calling around to a number of people for suggestions on hey, who's at Lachey's? Who's the best at Warped Walls? Who's the best at salmon ladder, this and that? And they got kind of like a community. I'm not sure a couple of the names of people that they called, but I don't know who, like the total number or who it was. Well, I guess mine. But when they made the announcements there after the end of the regular competition, it was supposed to be, they announced Dusty, Lance, Casey, and Stratus.
Right.
And Stratus had been struggling with his shoulder even then, and he was kind of feeling in the dumps about having failed the regular doubles in earlier that night.
Right.
So he's like, I'm hurt, and I'm not, he's proficient at it, but he's, he knows that he's not like one of the guys that is, really good at it. And I had really been, really wanting to be a part of that. I know there were a number of us that psyched up when we heard about it. Me and James, James McGrath. And
right.
Stratus actually went to the executive producer and was like, look, here's my story. I really appreciate you guys, considering me for this. I know I'm not for the job. But, Mike is really good at it. And he'd really like to do it. And if I could give him my spot, I'd be, grateful or whatever. And they were like, I'm not sure how much arm twisting he had to do, but on my way walking back to the hotel that morning to crash out or something, and I got a call from one of the casting people. They're like, get your butt back over the tent. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And you got a shot at it. Stratus tagged you in. So it was like trying to think of one that people would know, but yeah, all my wrestling references are too old for probably a lot of the people that are listening. It's like when you get the
hot tag, yeah.
Come in and clean house, yeah. You clean house,
right?
Your house on fire.
Exactly.
So I felt like that, and I was, So I didn't think I could do it. I mean, when they put it up there, we had never seen one that big. We had kind of been thinking about it for a while, like how big could they make? I don't know. I saw like they had some of the guys test it. They had James and Ian Doherty and Travis Rosen and a number of other guys tested it prior to us doing it, and none of them made it. And I was like, holy shit! If they can't do it, how am I going to do this? I just, I'd mentioned I'd kind of talked about this stuff on the Wolfpack Ninja Podcast, but I hadn't really trained for that. Like it was like I only did this there as part of course runs. I hadn't really like just sat there and done of salmon ladder, multiple times a week for however long. It was just, well, I know I can do that. I hope I can do it a whole bunch of times. Yeah, I was happy that they had let me do it, and I was like, yeah, let me see if I can do it. There I was on the top of it.
All right. So, just out of curiosity, did you get anything for winning, or was it just for bragging rights?
I got a little medal.
Okay.
And I got a $1,000 for that. So that was cool. Like we didn't even know that we were getting. At least I didn't know that we were getting prizes. So when they gave me a check, they said, "Oh, we won $1,000."
Cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's not bad for a few seconds of work. Because you gotta have that.
Right. that was pay I've ever had in any job that I've ever held.
Yeah.
And probably ever will. $1,000 for 27 seconds of work.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually very efficient money making.
Yeah, bang for your buck.
Exactly. So you were in Vietnam recently, relatively recently.
I was.
Yeah. What was that experience like?
Oh, my little goofy. Hello?
Yes.
Can you
Hello.
hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. My little Yeah, I can hear you. My little iPhone thing is being goofy. Them was really cool. It I didn't know what to expect going out there. Um, we were part of Perry Oosterle's ragtag master plan of international competitor.
Right.
So I was just happy that I was able to do it. I we were all like me and David and Brett and some of the people that had been into Sasuke for a long time, and we're really excited when we saw it because at night, when it was all lit up and everything. I mean, the set pieces and everything and the layout, it all looked very Sasuke, and definitely had that kind of gritty, semi low budget flavor to it that we were all enjoying instead of like the super super theme parky ATS's work or anything. I mean, they do a great job on the rigging and everything for A&W. Too nice, you know. But yeah, it was really cool. They were everybody was really to us. Lost for the first couple days. I mean, we were all really jet lagged, and we all pretty much got sick a number of ways. Times, trying to adjust to the language barriers and everything. And, I mean, there was really no time for any of us to learn too much about language. I mean, we all pretty much found out less than a month before that we were going to be going.
Right.
And, it's a difficult language to learn. I mean, it's not just learning vocabulary and stuff. I mean, there's a whole act to it that completely changes the meaning of what you're saying. And I tried for like a day or two, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to figure this out in time to have any kind of useful vocabulary or anything. So, we got there, and it was, as a competitor, you're still in competitor mode, and you're trying to do what's best for you to have your best chance at this thing that you just flew halfway across the world to do.
Right.
So you're, where was I going with this? I don't know. We were trying to stay relaxed and trying to stay healthy, and that was running the course initially was our main priority. And it was there was a lot of stuff fell through the cracks for the first couple days, communications wise, but we eventually got our bodies semi-adjusted and our minds back together, and it was really cool. I mean, we really had a good experience with them.
All right. Well,
they were all talking about being excited to have us back next season. So I hope that ends up happening.
all right. So yeah, I hope you do get called back. And I hope you did really well in A&W this year.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hardly remember anything that happened already.
Yeah. Well, I guess you'll be surprised when you see your own run.
Yeah, if I see my own run.
We saw you a little bit for the qualifier.
Yeah, you got to see you got to see me lose my foot in the lava.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. At least you went far enough, fast enough, right?
Yeah, when they announced the people at the end of the night that were in top 30, I screamed out "biggest loser." or fastest loser or something, because Stratus was the slowest clear and I was the fastest fail.
Yeah, I saw that on the board.
So it was like biggest loser, woo! And they just kind of stared at me.
Well, maybe they thought you were trying to promote a different NBC show.
Yeah, right. No, that thing was weird, man. That Rolling Thunder thing. It was just a lot of work. And when a number of us got to a point where we were like, all right, I feel comfortable lashaying from here. Lashaying is just swinging off to people who aren't in universe. And it was very awkward. Like the rocking of the device or whatever it was very, like, it would kind of go opposite what you were trying to accomplish with it. And
Right.
I got into kind of like a weird circular swing that was, once I was doing that, it was hard to get it to go the way you wanted to. So when I swung, it took most of the energy off of my dismount because it rocked backwards on me. And I did pretty much the same thing that Natalie Duran did at the thing, except she had a real nice strong one-footed landing where she kept her other foot up like a flamingo, and I just kind of flopped my right foot into the water.
Right.
So
Okay.
it was very graceful to my bumbling.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see to how you did in the regional finals. Personally, I think you did well. I'm gonna guess that you did well. That is my prediction.
I appreciate your
Optimism.
your faith in me.
Ah.
Your optimism and your faith in my ability.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let you go. It's been very nice talking to you. Thank you for being on the show. And
Likewise.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
yes, and I hope you enjoy Sasuke tomorrow.
I shall. I'm going to do my best to stay up again for everything. I've been trying to get my schedule back, being asleep at night, but today I worked late and I got up late and everything, so I'll probably be just fine for staying up all night to watch it.
All right, sounds like a plan. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Good night, Mike. All right. That was fun, wasn't it? So, thanks again to Mike Bernardo for coming onto the air and chatting with us for a little bit. And now let's get our next caller. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. You can hear me then.
I can hear you just fine. I feel like I'm listening to a podcast, but it's oddly crossing over with my podcast.
It's a little tricky.
Yeah. So, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience?
Sure. My name's Rich. I'm from the Armchair Ninja Podcast.
Hey! That's what I've always wanted. The crossover of the century.
Yeah. I'm getting a little echo here, so it's confused me a little bit. I got to figure out how to do the actual live show here.
Click on the little megaphone or speaker symbol on the window.
There we go. That fixed it up.
All right, then. So, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome. I'm pretty excited. I think this would be my first time watching Sasuke, so a little early morning, but definitely going to join you guys, I think.
Okay. Have you, so what was your introduction to the, I guess, American Ninja Warrior?
I have no idea how I stumbled across it to begin with. I was just channel surfing a couple years ago, and I don't know. It just caught my attention, so I watched it. Kind of got drawn in, and I was a little freaked out when everybody failed, and I didn't even get to see stage 4, I thought, well, what kind of a show is it where people don't actually get to see the whole thing completed or even attempted? It didn't make any sense to me. But it drew me in. So then the next year I watched it again, and I think that's just, carried forward. And I remember my wife coming in last year, I think it was. No, it was 2 years ago. And I'm trying to explain it to her, and she realized, she's like, you know their names. Like, how are you even knowing who these people are? She just couldn't believe I was getting that drawn in that fast. But I loved it.
All right. So have you seen any of Sasuke yet?
I saw a little bit from watching, we did a recap of season 1 of American Ninja Warrior, so I got to see the clips of the American competitors. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow, so you're in for a whole new experience tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm a complete newbie.
Okay. Have you seen any of the info about what the course looks like this year?
Nothing. I actually have to avoid. I like the forums, and I do check them out, but then I have to avoid them when there's potential spoilers around, because I definitely need to be unspoiled for the podcast. So.
Right. Yeah. I know that feeling. It's even harder. Well, actually, no, it's not so hard because Arsenet doesn't spoil anything. She's very good about that. So you actually you had the opportunity to go to the Pittsburgh qualifier.
Philadelphia, yeah.
Philadelphia, sorry, yeah. So what was that experience like?
That was amazing. It was a little surreal to be there and to just be standing, even just waiting in line to go in with everybody else, and having Akbar and Matt walk by and start shaking people's hands and taking photos, and then to get in and see the ninjas themselves. And in my case, it was even a little more unique because there's a few ninjas that actually listened to the show, and I had my jersey on with the podcast logo on it, and I had people waving to me and calling out my name that knew me. So it was kind of like stepping onto the set of your favorite TV show, and the actors, like, I know they're not actors, I know they're athletes and whatever, but it's just, to me, they're television stars and they know me. Like, it was just a weird reversal.
Right, yeah. I had that same feeling when I was at the National Ninja League. I was talking to Bernardo at one point. He was like, "Oh yeah, you did that that podcast with Arsenet, right?" It's like, yeah, I listened to it when I work out, and I was just like, "You listen to my show?"
Hey, you get to talk to a lot of them. I saw your interviews; they were cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Would have liked to get a few more, but yeah, it was a good start, I guess. So, as someone who has been in the audience, what would you say is like, I don't know, what would you think is like the biggest thing that doesn't come across on TV because we don't see it or something like that?
A couple of things, I guess. So the audience is kind of in the dark in a lot of ways. You can't hear the commentary. You don't have any idea who the people are running unless you recognize them, basically.
Right.
So it's a little tricky at times to follow what's going on. And there's parts where a lot of the crowd noises and stuff, of course, they do recycle them and amp them up at times. But the funny ones are during the interviews, you can't hear anything that Christine and the athletes are saying. They just kind of signal to you when you hear. So you just cheer. You have no idea what they just said, like, at all.
Okay. So how much directing of the audience is there, you would say?
Not as much as I thought there would be. Like, they kind of they give you some clues as to when to amp it up. You'll hear them start chanting something. For example, if there's somebody there that'll, it'll be KC or whoever,
Yeah.
and you start chanting along. But I mean, the crowds joins in happily with that anyway. They just kind of like to trigger those kind of things, and they have to kind of wake you up, right? It is the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. So you get a little freaked out and a little tired, and you just kind of zone out. So they kind of have to wake you back up and go, like, encourage you to clap at times, but you're still excited for sure.
Right. Did you notice anyone falling asleep in the audience since it was so late?
My daughter sitting next to me, yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, but they no overall. Oh, there in front of me that fell asleep completely. So
Okay.
he was laid right out on the bench, and it was hilarious because Jamie Ron came on. That kid snapped to attention. He was up, he was cheering, he was wide awake suddenly.
That's so it's just like an instantaneous thing. It's like the one person he was
Yes,
there for.
pretty much. I think so. There's always those couple that really draw the young kids in, and Jamie is definitely got a big young kid following.
I can see that. So so overall, what do you think of the season of American Ninja Warrior so far?
I'm loving it. I think it's really good. I had uh, there's a few issues along the way. I think they fast forwarded some people they shouldn't have, and outright didn't show anything of a few people that they really should have. That's what bothered me more. Fast forwarding, it's a time crunch, so you kind of understand it a little bit. But when they don't even, you know, acknowledge somebody was there, that gets a little that kind of gets under you a bit. But I love the courses. I think they've done a little bit better job with the editing and keeping most of the stories down to a better time frame. But yeah, overall, I love this season.
That's good. Yeah, I definitely think it's off to a better start than last year. Personally, I there was a point last year where I just sort of got annoyed at the some of the profile pieces. Personally, and I think after that SNL skit, I can't take any. I can't. It's hard to take some of those like more. I guess sadder stories seriously, you know, because at times it
Yeah,
feels like they're just doing what the parody was, and I
yeah, that's what
like.
made it such a great parody, right?
I know it was so good, but now it's like sometimes where it's like, oh, like I feel bad because like I remember the zookeeper who lost his wife. Like I feel bad because that's a real thing that happened to him, but it just felt all I can think of once they got to the serious part was this is like the Captain Tornado sketch, and
Yeah, it kind of is. But I mean, those people know. I mean, everybody knows when they go on. That's what's coming. So you play to that, right? I'm sure there are
yeah,
people that even ones that they featured that um like have a buddy that has something wrong and they're like, "Hey, do you mind if I use that to get on the show?" I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's a TV show. You do what you can do to get on there.
yeah, I see what you mean. Um, how by the way, you've been watching that Spartan show, right?
Yeah. Yeah, every week.
So I watched the first half of episode one, and I have a question about that.
Sure.
Does it get better? Because I've been kind of bored from what I've seen.
It does. We we've been bashing it uh, quite a bit on our podcast, actually, especially the first two episodes. I found it picked up in episode three. It actually drew me in quite a bit. And my co-host Bijan held out a little bit longer. He did like it, but he actually really liked the last episode. So it's getting better as we go. I don't know if they're changing up the editing or if it's just growing on us in the format.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that we committed to recording it, I probably would have bailed halfway through the first episode too.
Okay, because I listened to your review of the first episode and I was totally with you. I heard that crowd noise when that one person stepped on their partner's head, and that was like totally out of it. It was like how did that audience see that little head step and go oh all at the same time?
Oh, it was awful. That was the worst piece of audio editing I've ever heard. Like, and I'm used to a lot of over the top audio editing, but that was really really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that it at least gets better. Uh, be interesting to see if it gets renewed because they've been switching the time slots, haven't they?
They did. They moved it all over the place, and now it's on Thursday nights without the American Ninja Warrior lead in. So yeah, it's kind of on its own, and we'll see how it makes out. It dropped. It lost like half the audience when it moved.
Ah, that's always good.
Yeah, not a great sign.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a bit of a a weird one because normally I'd be like, oh, who are you looking for? I guess I mean really there's only two people who you could answer for who you're looking forward to seeing in the Sasuke, right?
Yeah, I mean the American competitors for sure. I'm interested in seeing how they did. I hear Casey was actually in the pre-show, which I
Yeah.
have to check out.
Yeah, she was.
But no, I'm looking forward to just experiencing, the actual origin show. Right?
Yeah.
This is it. This is the big show. I want to see. I want to see what you guys see and what drew you in.
Right. No, it's going to be an interesting one because the champion isn't back due to professional reasons, and you're going to watch the retirement of one of the most popular competitors of all time. So it's almost like you're starting at like the final chapter of a book. So we'll see. Yeah, that'll be an interesting perspective to hear.
Yeah, it's weird to come in at this point, and I've asked Arsenet a couple times, which one should I listen to first? Should I go back and which one should I watch first? And eventually I just kind of decided, it kind of crept up on me, frankly, before I got a chance to watch the other ones. I'm like, whatever, I'll jump in at the end. I'll watch the last part of a trilogy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, just you could just watch them all. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, I can go back. Yeah, I got those stockpiled. Yeah. We have an off season, so
exactly.
A chance to go back.
By the way, how jarring was it to go back to A&W 1?
It was terrible. I absolutely hated it. I was worried that it was going to be. I actually really enjoyed it once they got to Japan, which bodes well for tomorrow morning. But all the stuff leading up to it was just almost unwatchable. It was the trials that they had them do, running on the beach carrying bricks and stuff, just didn't make any sense. Like the whole concept was really out there. Yeah, that's the
big difference between the G4 money and the NBC money.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know, the obstacles, if you want to call them that, didn't make a lot of sense.
There was a bit of a debate with the bungee brick thing too, because the person that took last in all three heats was the same position, so there was some debate if that one was accidentally harder or not. I mean, it was never proven, and you probably never could prove it, but it was interesting conversation at the time.
I bet. So have the forums been around since before then? Like you guys were talking about it back when that was first airing?
The Sasuke forums happened before A&W because it was Sasuke 21. It came around, and A&W 1 was Sasuke 23, 2? Wasn't 1. I don't know, it's been so long. Yeah, well, no, the forums came before A&W was formed proper. Have you, by the way, have you seen the original American Ninja Challenge that predated the American Ninja Warrior?
No, I have looked for it before, but I didn't see where I could find it. And even actually finding the first season of American Ninja Warrior was a trial by fire. Like, it was crazy. I wanted to buy it. I wanted to get a legitimate copy because I wanted to refer people.
That's not happening.
Yeah. Well, I thought, if I can get it on Amazon or somewhere, then I can refer people to it, and then they can buy it too, and we can watch it together. But no,
unfortunately,
to get a legitimate copy.
Unfortunately, none of the G4 ones are available, and only some of the NBC ones are. Last time I checked.
Crazy, right? Like, do they not? I mean, we're trying to throw money at you. I don't understand why they don't take it sometimes. It doesn't make any sense.
Dude, like, I watch anime. This is like what I go through every time there's a show that I want that's not available. It's like, can I please just buy this? No, it happens. It happens all the time. There are so many shows that I want like available, even if it's just digital, that aren't, and it's I don't know. It's like sometimes it's a weird rights thing, but I don't think there's anything that's stopping them from putting old episodes of American Ninja Warrior on. But who knows? Maybe there is, that I don't know.
Oh, actually the worst was trying to watch Team Ninja Warrior from here. You know, the whole cross-border thing, because I'm in Canada, to
Right.
confirm for Mike, who posted in the chat. Yeah, I am from Canada. But yeah, I couldn't get it anywhere. And one of the, I tried all these different ways. I did get some in one way or another. And then one of them I had to watch via Skype on Bijan's computer. Like we watched it together right before we recorded.
That's, yeah, I guess I got to make it work some way.
Yeah, that was the weirdest one. But yeah, I was looking for somewhere to pay. I mean, I had no problem with buying the season online somewhere, but they had nowhere to do that.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, so if you ever do find the American Ninja Challenge stuff, like if you thought the American Ninja Warrior was low budget, get ready to go even lower.
I bet it sounds like it. I've heard little things here and there, so I have some idea what to expect. But yeah, it's probably even worse than that.
Yeah. So yeah, trying to think. So actually, American Ninja Warriors had a lot more successful women this time around. How about that?
That was pretty cool, especially in person. And here's the thing: we bailed out early, so I didn't know. It kind of left a little suspense for me because I didn't know who made it through when the episode aired. I thought, geez, I was really upset that none of them had hit the buzzer, but I started kind of doing the math in my head and realized, wait, there wasn't that many finishers to begin with. They might have actually qualified. I didn't expect all 4. That was really cool. I feel bad Jessica Britton just missed out, unfortunately, because she was just before that. I don't know how many more there were on Rolling Thunder, but she dropped just at the wall drop before that.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Rolling Thunder was a real roadblock in that one.
Yeah, for sure. It was crazy to watch in person. I was getting so excited. You can see me standing there at the Michelle Warnke's doing her run. My daughters and I are standing watching. We're the only ones in the section standing up.
Okay. So do you think any of the women are going to beat stage 1 in Vegas this year?
I think so. That's my guess, is that Jessie or Megan are going to actually beat stage 1. I think, because I've gotten hints around the outside that something big happened, and thankfully that's all that I've heard. So my guess, I can't see anyone finishing the whole thing again, but I'm thinking maybe a woman actually finally beat stage 1, at least stage 1. It would be really cool if they did too.
Okay. Yeah. I on the Final Stage podcast, I actually predicted that if anyone could do it, it'd be Jessie would be most likely. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, and I get to talk to her again in a couple weeks, which is gonna be really cool.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, she's gonna be co-hosting an episode with us.
Oh. Is it going to be the Venice Finals episode?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Because that'd be weird if she was like doing the Oklahoma City one.
Actually, I kind of wanted her to do one that she wasn't in to get her from I wanted to kind of get her perspective as a viewer.
Right.
But just for timing and everything, it all ended up working out that the best time was to do it then. So, which is probably good because, the way they've been hyping her this season, I'm thinking maybe she beat it. I don't know. But it seems like we might have some good news.
I kind of noticed some of the advertising too. It does seem awfully suspicious.
They're really, really pushing her this season.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she. Yeah. I don't know. I look forward to it. I've always liked Jessie. I remember when she first debuted in AEW 4. That was a lot of fun.
The chicken costume?
Yeah, it was awesome.
No, that was 5.
I thought it could have been. Actually, no, it could be 5. It was. Was it?
No,
yeah.
you're right.
Oh. No, I think no, it was 5.
5, did 6? No, it was the other way.
No.
She
She did 5, skipped 6, did 7, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was 5 because that was when they did 2 episodes of each regional qualifier and regional final, but like the first episode was on G4, the second episode was on NBC. 4 and 5 was really weird how they split the episodes between G4 and NBC. I can't think of the last time like a television show that wasn't like sports, like like traditional sports, that that did that sort of thing where you had to watch multiple channels to get the full story.
Really, I've never seen that before. Well, we don't even have G4 here, so.
Well, we don't have G4 here either because that got taken off the air.
Well, yeah, even then we didn't have it. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Any closing thoughts?
No, nothing that big. Like I said, I'm gonna try to pop on this tomorrow morning. I actually get off a little bit easier than you guys because I'm an hour ahead, so it'll be 6:30, I believe. It's 5:30 your time, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Eastern, yeah. So I got my alarm set. I'll be hopping on to check it out, and we're not going to be stepping on your toes. We're not going to be doing the full recap or anything like that, but we'll probably be touching base on it for sure.
Dude, I don't. You do whatever you want. I don't care. We don't call dibs. Like we did a whole episode about the finale of American Ninja Warrior, and so like go nuts. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, I've got 2 shows to do. I don't need another thing to cover. It's a little too crazy already.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what Bajan thinks. Is he watching it?
He's not gonna be able to catch it live by the sounds of it. He's got a really busy weekend, but he's definitely gonna be watching it. He doesn't miss it. So, yeah, I don't know when we'll get a chance to record it, but I think we'll definitely have a conversation about it.
Okay, that's cool. Has he seen Sasuke before? Outside of the American Ninja Warrior stuff?
Oh yeah, he's a huge fan. He's been watching it forever.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, I'm from Atlanta, Canada. How did you know that? Somebody, Sasuke Owl jumped in with.
Oh. Maybe he just sort of figured it out from the time zone.
Oh yeah, sorry, the time zone thing. Yeah, I'm in New Brunswick.
Okay, New Brunswick. Yeah, I've been to Halifax. That's like the furthest east I've been in Canada.
Halifax is pretty east.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Rich.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So now that we've completed the final stage podcast, Armchair Ninja Podcast crossover, now we can have to get an episode where Arson and Bajan do something.
That sounds like it could be pretty volatile. I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, don't even say that.
What could possibly go wrong? All right.
Halifax is a sex.
Bernardo likes to mess around. You love to live. You learn to live with it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I hope you have a great night.
All right. Good night, Rich.
Good night.
Oh, that was different. And I mean that literally because it's different. Is there anyone else? It's getting kind of late, so